Hello, everybody, and happy Thursday, which is an unusual thing to say on the stream because I stopped streaming on Thursdays. Well. Gonna have a, I do have a command for that. But yeah, hi, everybody. Hey, Phil. Hey, Mystical Cell, Titanium, and Kevin. And everyone who's here and doesn't want to say anything. Oh, hey, I have chat open twice. Okay, I'll close this one. Skeleseller stream. Hey, Dark. Okay, so we left yesterday with a bunch of to-do items, and I'm pretty sure that's where I said I left off. Yeah, but I said it was for Friday. I'm gonna keep working on equipment stuff. Maybe stream, we're done with that. I hope I fixed the noise on the green screen. I changed the zoom level and moved the screen itself. Yeah, okay, to-do items. Store everything in the same dictionary. We should probably commit this and then change all of these things. Although really, what can go wrong here? Just a dictionary. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll save this in just a temp folder. What are the odds I actually messed this up? Very high. Okay, so we want a type that is a pair of type and battle mod data. We can actually just use the pair type. And that way we don't need to make a new one. But I kind of want to make a type out of this. Is pair not a type? Key value pair? I think that's what we want. Holds a key and a value from a dictionary. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Okay, never mind. Flipped to YouTube and saw the YouTube stream. Hey, Stockton. Hey, him too. C# pair type. Is this not a thing? Or what is it called? Tuple. Oh. Okay. Easy peasy. All right, so this is going to be the, I guess we just call this data. Yeah. And then we don't need this. We don't need this. We can make this read only, and we can make this form data dictionary, form battle mod dictionary. All right. This is going to be very, very messed up for some amount of time. I guess all of these can be replaced with data, and all of this can be replaced with data. And then this needs to return this type. And then we need to make that dictionary. Data equals new. We can just do it that way. Then set these things. Return data. And now we just need to change this. So how do you make a tuple? New tuple, whatever. Okay, it's very easy. So new, what did I put the type first? Yeah, type is first, and then the data is second. So this, comma, this. This should be the type, which I guess is first. How do you access a tuple? First and second. Why is it not showing? It's strange. Why is that not showing? Huh. All right, we don't need this anymore. I'm gonna just build this for a second. Tuple. Yeah, I've heard people say it both ways. I like tuple better. Is there an official pronunciation? It's a dictionary, so it'd be key. No, it's the tuple that I'm getting though here. Like if I do, okay, here's how we can kind of show this. I could say this T equals data battle mod ID, and then T dot, oh, it's called item 1 and item 2. Why they write first and second here? In previous versions, you can use this. Oh, okay. Well, it's item 1 and item 2. I see. Tuple. You lost your grab bag of island keys. Mine has a little slide thing that you can put the key into and just leave it there forever. Hey, chef. You can give them actual names. Really? I mean, I don't need to, but I'm curious about this feature. Field names. You can explicitly specify field names. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, in this case, I don't need this. But interesting. Also type safety, these are different types, so it should always be an easy, obvious problem. All right, we are going to get the data from this one. So this is item 2. And we're going to get the type from this one. So this is item 1. And that should be everything. Okay, so store everything in the same dictionary and just make a new class. We don't need a new class. Add read only back to dictionary. Get rid of the pragma and then validate the dictionary. The validate the dictionary part, I'm guessing is done. But I'm going to rebuild this because there's a whole lot of yellow. Is it the same as key value pair? It's probably effectively the same. Although key value pair is always a pair, and I'm guessing a tuple can have more than 2 things. Hey, Chris, and welcome to the Work and Lurk space. Yeah, it built. I mean, I guess we can kind of assume this is working. The only way that we can check is with the tiny potions. This should go faster than this. So as long as we see the orange draining faster, then we can pretty much assume it worked. Yeah, cool, it is. All right, next up, if we were to go to battle mod ID and we were to add a new thing here and call this testeroni and then build, I'm pretty sure this is going to fail at us because we're not using it. I think, but I don't recall completely. No, that's not what makes it fail. I think what makes it fail is if we were to manifest the wrong ID here, if I say small power buff, I think that will know that it's wrong. Although this is a little bit worrisome. I think that should have failed. That caused a failure, right? Okay, no, neither one of these is. And now I know why both aren't working is because there's a validator class that I forgot to write this thing into. Where does this happen? Runtime validator? Yes, this all battle mod data dot validate. Yeah, without calling that, it's not going to know anything. All right, so now we can test both of those things. Battle mod ID, we put testeroni there and we run this. I had it to do for calling the validate function. I thought that's all I had to do. Well, defining the validate function. But yeah, okay, so this is now saying missing data for testeroni. Okay, good. And then in small power buff, oh, what's this here for? This should be gone. In small fortitude buff, where did I do this? There, yeah, if we do that. This is also failing, and it should say the same thing. Duplicate battle mod, small power buff. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is what's going to catch that we've actually defined everything correctly. And I think those were the to-dos that we had, and that now we can check in. So let's go look through the code. All right, so this is just fixing a comment. That should be checked in on its own. Fix comment. Yeah, I'm not even going to write how we fixed it. It's not important. All right, this is for the battle mod attribute. I think I already looked at this and couldn't figure out a better way to do this easily. I'm not super happy, but I'm also not going to keep battling this. Yeah. Yeah, so let's just delete all this stuff. Represents and battle mod. That way we can construct them all when the game starts. Yeah, that's good. What is this problem here? Single line comment. Okay, that's stale. All right, all battle mod data. This is pretty good. Yep. Or as good as it's gonna get. This is good. Yeah. This is good. Oh, the comment's wrong though. Battle mod data. Also, I should probably actually write a comment here. Duration in seconds. Yeah. Okay, so we're putting all of the data into the classes themselves, which is what I did for abilities. Abilities have all their data alongside the ability. I feel like this is a good idea here. Hey, Lupus. Good morning. By the way, I didn't check, but did it post on Discord? Yes. Nice. Okay, so where do we leave off here? That's good. That's good. That is good. This is the whole reason we did all of this stuff. Because right now we had a switch with 2 of these. But imagine if we had 100 battle mods, we'd have a switch with 100 things. And then when you add a new mod, you'd have to modify like 3 different files. Now you only have to modify 2 files. This one, just to add an ID. And then the actual file containing the code that you need for the mod. So that's not too bad. This is just remove an unused import. I think we need to go check that in. Remove unused import. I want to keep everything as light as possible here. And what is this about? This shouldn't be done yet, just so I don't pollute this commit. But then nothing is going to provide this buff. But that's okay. And what's this? Start the timer with the correct duration. Yep. And what's this? To validate everything. Okay, cool. So what do we do? Manifested battle mod data. This allows us to dynamically construct battle mods at runtime rather than having a giant switch case statement. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to hold off on merging PRs for right now. Also, I should probably tweet this. Actually, maybe ask Ski to do this later. All right, so that's done. Next up, make sure these don't grant infinite power and fortitude. This isn't very important, but just these numbers can't be ludicrous numbers here. Consider making generics for the battle mods. Battle mod, power battle mod, small battle power mod. Why or why not? I'm not entirely sure where you're at with this. So here's the way I'm looking at this. One is I don't know the total set of battle mods yet, but some mods are going to be, I'll just say basic, like +2 power or +5 power or, you know, plus 100 life. And then some will be more complex. Imagine something like when the first adventurer dies, revive them. So the basic ones can all eventually inherit from something like this small power buff mod. Imagine that we have a power buff mod and it takes in the amount of power it should add. And then we could just say small power buff mod : power buff mod 5, and maybe medium is like 15 and large is 50 or something like that. So I can do this when it makes sense. Like we have basic ones and they're all the same, so just make a common base class. Since we don't know the total varieties we're going to have, for now it's just proceed with what makes sense now. And if it turns out it doesn't make sense later, then we can refactor it. So make sure they don't grant infinite power and fortitude. All right, we have the duration that the actual buff lasts, and we have another duration for how long it lasts in battle. Am I drinking water? Yeah. I meant inheritance, by the way. What if a battle mod had a collection of battle mods that would also apply? I don't think that's going to be the case, but if it did, so imagine right here we have small power buff mod. Imagine we call this like small everything mod. Instead of just adding a power buff, we'd also add something in here like a dodge buff. And we'd also add in something like a whatever other buffs you can imagine in here. We just throw them all in one thing. Again, if you don't have a reason to believe that you're going to have that be a common pattern, then you just do it where it's special to do. And a lot of the abilities work that way. Like Fireball is an ability that does damage, can have a damage over time, and can trigger mental swiftness for the mage. So it's like a lot of this stuff. Oh, and also it has a projectile. So a lot of this stuff is not so similar to every other ability, such that I just coded in each ability. It's not too bad. Okay, so at some point we got to worry about balance here. I don't want to worry about balance right now. Also, this should just be float.max value, right? Is that not a thing? Is it a lowercase float? Lowercase float. Okay, you know what we got to do? We got to come up with these things. We got to come up with at least a few so that we can have an idea of what we're making here. Where should I put this though? Should I just make a new, like a spreadsheet? I think a spreadsheet makes the most sense. Yeah, all right, let me do this on a different screen because I've got to go through my Google Drive for this, and that's not easy to do on stream. I don't even know where this is. Yeah, I have no idea. Let's find it. Folder, show folder location. Okay, now I want a spreadsheet here. Okay, here we go. So we got a new spreadsheet. I know, for those who don't know, you can just go to sheets.new as a URL and it'll make one, but it makes one in the root of your Google Drive. What is this? Start with pre-built tables? blank event tab. Whoa, neat. It's got a preview when you hover over it. I don't think any of these are going to help, but this is kind of interesting to look at. Project management. Wow. Imagine if there's like making Skeleseller. Here's the folder for you. Oh, look, battle mod tracker. Yeah, I don't need any of these, but interesting to know. So battle mods for Skeleseller. And let's link this document from over here. Why does it say untitled spreadsheet? Did it not save? A. What's going on? Do I need to refresh this? There we go. See this for some planned mods. Yeah. Hey, Funky Monkey. Any other lesser known hacks for Google products while you work there? I use Docs quite a lot, and there's a feature that was there internally that still hasn't made it public yet that was really nice, so I can't talk about that. But other than that, it was kind of just sort of obvious things about Docs that people probably know about. So things like adding in a table of contents, and then just keeping this thing up to date, adding a bookmark wherever you might want to link to a specific thing in the document. So maybe you want to link to this bullet point and not the whole heading, just insert a bookmark and then link to that. What else? I can't think of any like major tricks. There were some things that are on the sort of enterprise version of Google Docs. Like in Tools, there was an activity tracker and you could see who had viewed your doc. That was also useful sometimes. Hey, Adagon Dev. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your name, so please let me know. But I hope your stream went well earlier. And by earlier, I mean yesterday. I wrote down a note, maybe not even in here, about Godot folder colors. I hadn't realized. Adagon, okay, yeah. Well, that's why we have a name pronunciations list, which we are now about to go modify. Adagon. Yeah. Paste that in. Oh, I didn't copy it for some reason. That's my computer whoopsing at me. All right. Cool. Well, welcome in. Yeah, so planning some of these mods. So we need to figure out what the item is that grants the mod. That grants the mod, then maybe the duration, and then maybe the mod itself. I think these things. And one way we could do this is by pasting in the item graphics. I guess the item that grants this is not really all that important, is it? Because all we have are these descriptions. All right, well, I'll just write them out anyway. And I'm just going to plan a few of these. So I think the potion ones can do kind of interesting things. And here are the ideas that I've got for some of these things, like a small occasional heal, a revive. These are the ones for potions at least. Although maybe there should be some of these things for armors as well. Small occasional heal, a revive, end the battle with more life. Actually, this is a really good start of game one to do, because eventually you'll probably have a skill that covers this for you. Make a filter view so you can, just in case, group by the ID. I'm not even sure it makes sense to make a document about this at all, to be honest. Like, I think we're just going to throw this out after it's done. Also, how do you make a filter view? Oh, there it is. Create a filter. Yeah. Well, I guess we could have done this at any time, right? So I like this idea. End the battle with more life. That way you can start battles up sooner. And maybe you'll want this for the sort of early game. A small occasional heal. I don't know, weapons and armor. So weapons could be plus power, varying amounts, of course. Maybe like plus chance to crit. We need to grant that. Plus dodge, plus mitigation. What other obvious buffs can we add right now? What do we have? Heal over time. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, just a heal over time. Just grant a heal over time to everyone. That is very infrequent. There's something to be said for balancing all of this, and I'm hoping we don't have a crazy amount of time doing this. Chance to apply debuffs, faster regeneration after battle. The faster regeneration after battle is this. Just you end the battle with more life. It's essentially faster regeneration, but not quite. Actually, maybe it should be end the battle with full life. I don't know. We could have different tiers of potions that do this sort of thing. But yeah, chance to apply debuff. Chance to apply debuffs. Maybe like a chance to poison the target. Oh, that could be a potion. Yeah. Chance to poison enemy with attacks. What else do we have? What are some like basic ones? Damage mitigation. Dodge. That's not good. I guess we could add some blinding effect to enemies. Haste. Oh yeah, haste. Ooh, haste is a big one. Haste could go on any of these. Which makes the most sense? Because I don't think I want haste to be on all of them. Weapons, maybe? Weapons or potions, I think. I don't want to put it on armor. Weapons or potions. I also want potions to be like the item to get for everything. So yeah, maybe we put plus haste here. What else? What else? What else? More healing received. I feel like this is probably pretty situational. And an occasional extra attack. In my mind, that's like haste, but there is an ability in the game already, Mental Swiftness, which when the mage uses has a chance of resetting the cooldowns on your abilities. Oh, you know what we could do? We could maybe grant an ability through this. Like grant a basic attack ability that deals damage every so often. Although this is very dangerous. This is very dangerous. Are we settled in one-to-one map between item and mod? Could the same small potion give the small heal or after battle with a chance? Can an item do multiple things? An item can do multiple things, yeah. So we could have like you get a heal during the battle and you end the battle with more life and you get a chance to revive. In fact, I guess that's one of the things we should probably write down here. The generic, just do lots of things at once. E.g. a rare potion that grants haste, power, and crit. Yeah, the rare items have more combos of effects. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. All right, so let's pick some basic ones here. I don't want to come up with the entire list. I just want to come up with some of them. And I don't even really care about the durations here. So let's put this here. Will this even help? I guess this is sort of like ending the battle with more life because you're healing throughout the battle. In fact, this is something that's even better than ending the battle with more life. Unless you lose. I guess then when you lose, this would be better. Oh, also more loot. Although where would that go? Maybe a potion? Chance for more loot. Not multiple, but the same item type gives different ones. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. So you could find like small blue potion that says plus heal, and then you can find another one that says plus whatever dodge. That I don't think I want to do. I want you to know at a glance what it is you might be getting. Hey, Paula. Maybe trade-off buffs, buffing damage but reducing life. Yeah. Okay, here's what I think is maybe a better idea for this. Let me just write this inside the design document because I think capturing these ideas somewhere is going to be important. We have item ideas. What are... Yeah, okay. I think we're going to write Battlemon ideas here. And I'm just going to copy this whole list over there. And thankfully, Google Docs has a paste from Markdown now. Although paste with this kind of bullet point, which I recognize I can change, but I'd like to... Oh, whoops. I want to select all of these there. Okay. Revive, blah, blah, blah. Do lots of things at once and also have trade-offs. E.g. plus 10% damage taken for plus 30% damage dealt. Something like that. Hasten stuff. Yeah, a lot of the early decisions of the game were to have... Oh, this is This is broken from earlier when I was testing the validation thing. A lot of the early decisions of the game were to have items be just up front. Like, they're just in your face. There is no list of items. It is the visual items. So yeah, I want it to be when you see this green potion, you're like, I know what that does. And you don't need to hover over it to see, because that would be extra cognitive load for you. So yeah, you'll just drag it to here, you'll get the buff, and it'll last forever long. Hey, Mr. Bunny Wizard. Gonna give it a good go. Want to make a game for 25 years, never gotten very far. Well, I think Godot is a great place to start. I will say this. I think if you're gonna read anything, the most important thing to read is this page. This is the philosophy behind why Godot uses nodes and scenes. It's not very long, and it explains how you'll set these up for yourself. Then, a long time ago, I made a Godot tutorial series, which used to be something I charged for and now no longer charge for. I can also link that to you. Some people have still found that helpful, although it is for an older version of Godot at this point. How do you find the playlist? There it is. Wait, this is private? Well, not anymore. There we go. Could be very rare items that change the battlefield, block an enemy spawn point. Oh, that's very interesting. And other ideas. What is wrong with copying right now? Why am I not able to copy text properly? Huh, weird. Okay. All right, yeah. So I'm just going to ditch this spreadsheet and move to trash and delete the spreadsheet from here. Did I have any other ideas here that were interesting? I guess, yeah, there could be grant a buff to only one adventurer versus many adventurers, many/all. What else? What else? What else? What else? Do things to the enemies. We don't have a debuff on enemies, but we could do that. Do something to enemies, e.g. a potion that makes the enemies start with 5% life missing. Actually, that's kind of cool. I like that idea. Hey, Caleb. Anything else? All right, so I want to do a couple of these right now. We're gonna do this one and this one. These should both be very simple, I think. Well, this one we don't have a way of doing that, but let's start with that. So small blue potion, all item data. I guess we need a battle mod ID. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a, what do we call this? Like a small heal over time. Small heal over time buff. And let's go save this as small. Oh, did I already put on a clipboard? Yes, I did. It's weird. Oh, this has mod in the name. Drat. Okay. Oh, it has buff and mod in the name. I don't know how I feel about my naming convention here. But yeah, there we go. All right, and that gets mod there too. Okay, so we are going to add a heal over time buff. Where do we do this? Here. And it's entity. Actually, this is something hey Vince, this is something I have not thought about, which is there's a source entity for all the buffs. And the source entity in this case should kind of be the battle. Like the battle gave you this buff. Otherwise, there could be some problems here. We don't have a way of doing that yet. I'm also not super concerned with it. But anyway, how does this work? So healing per tick, duration, and proc interval. Proc interval, it's got to be short enough that you can tell that it's happening. So maybe like 4. And healing per tick. This is a low-level potion. And adventurers start with like 200 life, 150 life, 180 life. So maybe we heal for 3? I'm just making up numbers here. And it should last for the entirety of the battle, probably. Float.max value. All right. Okay, so next thing is what should the minimum duration be for any of these things? And this is the duration that the crystal will stay lit for. So if I drag this over to here, this is the duration I'm talking about. This needs to be no less than a minute on any buff in the entire game, I think, because I don't want you to have to come back and like super micromanage these things. And I think a minute is probably a pretty good starting point. It should be based on how long battles last. Also, you get tons and tons of these particular potions in the game. All right, so now in all item data, let's go make the small blue potion, get the small heal over time buff, and let's go test that out. I mean, ideally, this just works, so let's see. All right, so if we start a battle right now, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We should not see any healing happen here. Yeah, good. Then we win this, and the potion went over here, which we then drag into this. Now we have a buff for 1 minute, which means the adventurer should now be healing life automatically. Yeah, nice, perfect. Cool. So in this battle, I've healed 6 so far, 9, almost 12, which made no difference to the battle. But it does affect all of the adventurers in there. Yeah, the balance of this is going to be very tough, just very, very tough. But that one's coded. Next up was the end the battle with more life. So what would make this be balanced? Maybe like 25% more life? I guess it's like heal 25% of the max life after a battle ends. Yeah. All right, let's go do that. So this is going to be small heal after battle end. I feel like I shouldn't be writing the word buff in here. It went half gray there. Is that to show the duration left of the buff? Yes. And this is not the probably final effect we're going to do. We probably need to add some other indications here, like a glow effect. We're also going to have a timer somewhere. You click it or you hover over it and you can see. But yeah, this is supposed to be the timer right now. And it also works for the other ones, which just kind of looks cool. Where's grant items? Here, we need to drag a weapon over there. Yeah. Beth. All right, so small heal over time, small heal after battle end. This means that the battle mods need another event. There's an initialize for the end of battle. There needs to be a I don't know, battle has just ended sort of event. Which actually, I guess what we could do is we could listen from the battle for on battle ended. But I think that's a bad idea. I think we should just have a system where all of these know what to do, and then we can just press F12 on this and find them all. Okay, so let's go to small heal over time buff and save this as this. Good and good. And this one maybe lasts a little bit longer. I don't know. Doesn't really matter what we do here. Okay, so next up, battle mod. There is a base one of these, and we have initialize. We're going to make a battle ended. And maybe we should pass in the result here, but I don't think it matters. So called after a battle has completely ended and your adventurers are regenerating. Problem is that there's a race condition that we have to avoid here, which is the battle ends and then this auto repeat timer will calculate how long it takes to regenerate. So this needs to happen before that, so that timer is correct. So let's go to battle system. It's where we show the end battle screen. So we got to do this. We're going to need to use this in 2 different places. Where's ended? Has ended. Battle ended. Yeah, so if we just call this right here, I think we should be fine. Oh, but I made a battle mod system, didn't I? But this knows about the system, doesn't it? Battle mod system. Yeah, battle ended. Okay, yeah. And we'll put this at the bottom of the class. Yep. Or it can't be private. What am I talking about? It's got to be at least public. Or at least internal, I meant to say. And then here we're going to go through all of these mods and we're going to call the right function on this. Battle ended. Cool. And then in our new buff that we have, small heal after a battle has ended, we're going to go through each player battler. It actually has to be all of the adventurers. And it can't be an effect. Yeah, because nothing else needs to heal. And then we get their health component. And we do heal for some amount. This is the small heal, so I guess let's just put a public const float heal percent. And I think it should be 25%, I guess. So we're going to put that there, and then we're going to say heal percent life, heal percent. All right, let's try that out. Oh, nothing has manifested this mod though. So we got to go to all item data. Let's just give it to that medium green potion because that really stands out. And we'll call this the small heal after battle end. Hey, yo. Was in a mood today to try writing some tests. Gave up after 10 minutes. Oh, man. Is it because of the chicken soft stuff? All right, we don't have any green potions, but there's one. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a battle. We haven't even given the potion, and we're going to lose the battle. And we are at 0% life. Oh, we don't have auto repeat on. Oh, drat, now we're at full life. Oh, man. Or now we're at level 10, I mean. Okay, well, whatever. I'm going to have this auto battle. It's going to make it to the portal. And then we're going to click lose. And it gives us a time of about 13 seconds. So now I'm going to drink the green potion. And repeat the battle and lose it. And now it was still a time of 13 seconds. Which means that I have messed something up. So let's go find out what. Battle calls. Oh, I know what I did. I have this in initialize. This should be in battle ended. Yeah, that's the problem. Hey, Faceless. Do I normally stream on Thursdays? No, this is a special day. We are trying to put in more time on Skeleseller. Entirely out of food, and it's a public holiday. It's your favorite meal using only rice, mayo, honey, bread, flour, baking soda. Oh man, you have all the ingredients to make honey mayo rice. Yeah, you're in luck. I would say to go to a friend's place or a neighbor's place and beg them for food. All right, I think it worked. In fact, I'm pretty certain it worked, but I shouldn't have made this 25%. But whatever, we're going to enable auto battle and we're going to lose the battle. And now this is set to 10 seconds instead of 13, which also kind of proves that 25% is probably not enough. Although that's when you lose. I guess when you win, oh, but your auto battle time can't be less than 3 seconds. Yeah, I think this needs to be. What's honey mayo rice? It's just a joke. I don't know what you can do with all those ingredients. You could just eat the stick of butter. All right, heal percent we're gonna say is 50%. You gotta make certain not to make anything too powerful in the game. But yeah, this is where metrics would really help. All right, so we've added both of these things. Now let's add a couple of weapons and let's put power in haste, I guess. Those are the easiest ones to do, that's for sure. And then armor, dodge, and mitigation, yeah. The more I think about this, the more I think the more effects we have, the harder it's going to be to figure out if this is a good idea. Or if the balance is right. sorry, I'm just picturing we add in, you know, plus power thing, and one of these is like +3 power to 1 adventurer, and one is +4 power to 2 adventurers, and then there's +5 power to all adventurers. And it's okay that these exist, but I think you'll choose which ones of these you want to use. And I think that maybe eventually we should probably have a crafting system. I don't know. Onion rings and rice sounds medieval. Yeah, it could work. Alternatively, you could. Oh, yeah. I think the whole ask friends is a good idea here. You live near somebody. All right, plus power, plus haste. Let's go to battle mod ID. So small power buff and small haste buff. And what were the other ones? Dodge and mitigation. And that, yeah. Oh, I already have small power buff. What am I doing? And fortitude is technically the mitigation buff. So this should go here, and it should be 7. All right, so now I have to code all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot 5 and 6. -1. There. All right, so small power buff. Float.max value. We want this to last for the whole battle. We're going to give it to every adventure, I guess. And we're going to give you like 2 power. How much do you start with? 10? 2 is way too much then. We're going to give you 1 power. Hey, Willis. How's the game coming? Soundtrack and effects. So I only finished the 1 track, and I even mixed the piano farther down for it. I've been working on the 2nd track, but I haven't really made progress in a little while. So we've got about a minute. And this part is shaky. I need to work on this some more. But that's going well. I just need to put more time in. And then the game itself, we've been working on the Enchanter lately. That's this system here. A lot of people have played the game and have said, oh, it'd be nice to have an equipment system. And I am very, very opposed to a traditional equipment system because I think it adds a lot of complexity for no real benefit. So instead, what you'll do is you can take any of your items that you have and dump it into the corresponding pot that's over here. So if I put a potion in here, we see this crystal turn orange, and it's going to slowly drain out. And I can put weapons over here and armor over here. And this is your way of equipping items. So for some amount of time, this crystal is going to stay lit, and any battles that start are going to have a buff based on which item you just destroyed. Oh, man, you know what? I wonder. I'd like you to destroy more items this way. And if the minimum buff time is 1 minute, then it means that at most you can destroy 3 items per minute, which is probably not enough. Well, maybe the game starts this way and then eventually we do something about it. I don't know. I kind of want to put a picture of this into the game or into the document that I made. Let's do that really fast. Ideas. We could have backup crystals on a table for when you drag multiple items to the same pot. That's it. I'm just going to save that. I don't care. All right. So what are we granting? 1 here. And then small fortitude buff is actually going to be called small mitigation buff. And we're going to rename this small mitigation buff mod. Oh, we got to delete the fortitude one. Small fortitude there. Small mitigation buff. Lasts for 60 seconds. I guess small power buff should have 60-ish seconds. That's max value though. The other one should probably also have max value. Yeah, it does. And so how much damage should you mitigate from this potion? 5? I do want that to be a const here. Const float mitigation % equals 0.05. Sometimes I just want to see the AI. We'll do this. Yeah, 5%. It's probably not going to make any difference. The way I always kind of think about this is imagine that an enemy has 100 HP and you do 51 damage per hit. So it'll always take 2 hits to kill the enemy. You can get plus 48 damage and it'll still take 2 hits to kill the enemy. So in this case, it doesn't matter. You have a buff that's practically doubling your damage, but it makes no functional difference. So with 5% armor, I guess technically it will make a difference because of your regeneration time being continuous. So it could be the difference between 13.2 seconds of regeneration and 13.6 seconds of regeneration, which actually could add up over time. So never mind, I take that back. You have to be an actual musician, as in play real instruments, to use FL Studio you showed, or can anyone make music with that? Anyone can make music with this. I have a friend who has a pretty good ear, but never had any real formal training. Well, I guess he sang as a kid, but he doesn't really play any instruments, and he's made some interesting stuff in FL Studio. Really, the only thing that music training does is account for, or what's the word? Make up for having a bad ear. If you can just hear exactly what you want in your head and you can turn that into notes on anything, sheet music or FL Studio, then yeah, you don't technically need any formal training. Most people are not like that, by the way. Most people do need some kind of training in order to produce music. Really think I'm gonna hire it out. Yeah, I mean, you can learn, but I'd say a decent amount of training. I took piano lessons for a long time. I took some formal composition lessons a couple times in my life. I've taken music theory, and I've made a whole bunch of things, and it still took me like 20 plus hours to make my 1 minute of music for the first track. Considered a crafting system allows players to combine similar items and increase the time a buff is active. You know what? That might be the simplest way to do crafting. I hadn't thought about this, but basically you just combine X of an item and you get a buff with duration X times original. With that said, I'm not sure how many times you'll have lots and lots of these items. And I think another way we could potentially do this is allow you to drag the exact same item into the crystal and set the buff duration even higher than it used to be. But I think all of that is complexity for this stuff, and I think we need to very judiciously apply that. So I'm going to just write this under ideas. With respect to the Enchanter. We could also just have it be that you drag the same item onto an Enchanter pot and it extends the duration. Yeah. Yeah, the nice thing about music, at least, or at least music creation, is the barrier for entry is just as low as coding, in that you can just go to flstudio.com, and I think they have a demo version. So it's like there's no physical cost. And if you're here in the stream, then almost certainly you have a computer that can run this thing. So yeah. I think you can just tinker around and see if you like it. And a lot of people just have fun starting to code or starting to make music, and then from there it's a lot easier to motivate yourself to do it. Stat boosts that don't translate to a meaningful difference become a negative to the gameplay after a certain number, unless it's a chance boost. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that a lot... Oh, I forgot something. Oh, drat. The thing I forgot is that you don't start with the Enchanter. You get them after maybe like 1 to 2 hours. So the very first potions probably shouldn't have very meaningful effects, because you're not going to be using them at that point. But this is a balance issue, and either way we can go in and we can just change all these numbers. I want to just worry about the system for right now. And to that point, we wrote the small power buff, right? And that one's done. We wrote the small mitigation buff. Yep. We did not write haste or dodge. Oh, we didn't give these to any items. Oh, by the way, as far as the whole expensive for the base version, I highly recommend finding programs that you can use for free at first, because you don't know if you're going to like it. You don't know if you're, I mean, you might like it and not be good at it, and maybe you want to just go buy like a physical piano keyboard. You could always, by the way, when it comes to instruments, it's like you can get something that's this size that just fits in your hands, and you get a full-size piano. You can get a guitar or something like that. So there are lots of different routes you can take. I would say just tinker around sort of cheaply at first and just see what tickles your fancy. And then once you know, maybe you can make a more informed decision about what to spend money on. All right, small haste buff mod. All right, this is small haste buff. Haste we got to be very careful with. How much does Blessing of Haste give? 20%. Yeah, I think like a 5% buff is probably good to start with. Cons flow haste percent equals 0.05. It's like it heard me. All right, this is going to be a haste buff HB. This is just, I think, new, right? And then how does this work? It is percent and duration. Yeah, sounds good. You know what else we could do is a buff that gives you like 20% haste, but only for the very first part of the battle. Yeah, in fact, I should write that down because that's a good idea. Where is the set of ideas? Yeah. Could have more powerful buffs that only last for so long during a battle. E.g. plus 20% haste for the first 10 seconds of a battle. Would you consider implementing equipment per adventurer in a bigger skill tree? Bigger skill tree, yes. Equipment per adventurer, never. I just don't like that idea. I think one of the problems with equipment systems is when you think about what equipment is in a game, just from a game design standpoint, it's a way of customizing. Sometimes it's a way of having cosmetics. In this game, it almost certainly wouldn't be. And it's a way of like changing the function of a character, or I guess augmenting. So things like plus stats, abilities, maybe different play styles or something like that. And when you think of how equipment is manifested in games, you typically have some comparison between items. This comparison, it requires that you understand what the stats are. So if you had a really simple system where there's, let's say, a sword that says like +2 attack, and maybe it's got, I don't know, a time speed of 5, versus an axe that says something like +4 attack and a speed of 3. This is one of the simplest systems you can have, which is like, there are just 2 stats per weapon. And yet you still need to understand what these things are. And typically you can combine these into a DPS stat that makes it easy to compare just numerically. So if you have simple stats, then the comparison is purely like pick bigger numbers. And if you have complex stats, then it's understand the stats and look through all the items. And you eventually get to the point where I feel like it's like Diablo 2 Rare Ring. If you have never played Diablo, I guess this is a good example of like, how do you tell if this is a good item? And if you play the game, you kind of have an idea. But if you haven't played the game, it's like, I don't know, 19 to life. How high could that be? Could it be 100 and this is a bad roll? Is it? So anyway, all of that stuff in my mind is complexity that at the end of the day, if your game is not suited for that complexity, then you've hurt the game. And in the case of Diablo, it's like the game is a loot-based game. You need these stats to be there or else the game just sort of falls apart and you're like, I'm just killing enemies so that I can get, +2 life instead of +1 life. So yeah, anyway, I don't think individualized equipment is something we're going to do. But yeah, the bigger skill trees I do think would be a good idea. That was creepy. What was creepy? Did something happen that I missed? Usually also mean you're making a build-based game. Yeah. The other thing is that equipment in this game is just for the sake of battles, and battles have the automation system behind them, which sort of smooths out all the differences you might have. Well, more expensive items get better buffs? Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, you would always just be using the sort of weak items. And this is why we also have to be careful with percents that we do, because something like +10% power is always going to be relevant. And maybe it's not meaningful anymore if there's a +1000% power. But yeah, we got to be careful about that. Be careful about percentages. I don't want the low-level items to be used for the whole game. So something like this is a good example. Heal some percent of your max life at the end of a battle. The reason this is fine is because eventually you're going to have a player-wide skill that just sort of negates this completely, and then you shouldn't have a need to use this. And if you do, all you're really doing is saving yourself time. It's not affecting the battle. Okay, so we have the haste buff here, and the last one we have was a dodge buff, I think. Yeah. Small haste buff, small dodge buff. Come on. I'm just going to replace this with dodge everywhere. And then this will be DB. And dodge percent of 5, sure, whatever. Okay, let's go manifest these on some items. So all item data. Small blue potion has a heal over time. Small purple potion. Can you even get this? No, you cannot. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen that. All right, well, we definitely have medium green potion. Medium yellow potion exists, so we'll give that the small haste buff for now. Oh, wait, that was supposed to be on weapons, right? Yeah, never mind. All right, so then let's ignore that. Do we have boots? Boots. Boots are going to be the dodge buff. And the breastplate will give you the mitigation buff. And the fire sword will give you the haste buff, I guess. And the axe will give you the power buff. Sure. Okay, let's go try that out. Could also be cursed items that give bonus at a cost. More items at the end of battle, but eventually, yeah, the trade-off sorts of things. That I have written down. Yep. What do you think about instant targeted buffs plus 10% in cold dungeons? I want to be careful because I want to see how the game shakes out and what people are actually doing when they're playing. And based on feedback so far, it sounded like there's already sort of an interesting phenomenon, which is that battles are just a background thing until they get to be too hard, which that too hard part to me means bosses. And right now in the game, there is no boss, but the final instance is the one that's sort of hard to do because you can't have as many adventurers. And because of this, I think anything that ends up being too difficult to figure out, you're just going to like slow down and go automate a lower dungeon. Symptom of over complexity. I like games where you upgrade skills in a meaningful way. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot to balance with different games, and I think we already have quite the balance burden in this one. 2 hits with upgrade X and 1 hit with upgrade Y, but while that might give the correct number, players might also go nuts if you change one thing and everything recursively changes. I think the other thing too is it's hard to come up with what that system is once you have enough actors in the system. So if you think about it in terms of Marine and Zergling and Zealot, you can come up with a system that keeps all of these in balance and does what you want. But now you add in the other 20 StarCraft units there are, whatever it is, and buildings and everything else, and you're like, there's just no way to do this. There's no way to come up with like, yeah, Marine should take 2 hits to kill a Zealot. It's like, well, positioning matters, what abilities you're using matters, the high ground advantage you might have. There's all sorts of things to consider. So it's really hard to come up with formulas for this stuff. And the other problems too is if it's formulaic, players might realize it's formulaic and then be bothered by it. Some rules. I see. Okay, yeah. And the final thing is that perfect balance is not necessarily a good thing. I think people like exploring the imbalances in games and seeing what that leads to. Anyway, we launched this. I need to go test this with everything. So the axe gives you a power buff. How do we do this? We create an instance. And we need to find an axe. Can we even get axes? No. Okay, well, a lot of things give a power buff. I guess the cloak also gives a power buff. So we're doing 3 damage right now and 2 damage. When I put the cloak on, we'll probably actually honestly still do the same amounts of damage. Okay, so now I repeat the battle. No, now we're doing 5. What? 5. Oh, it's a percent power increase and it's set to 1. Okay, well, that was a mistake. I meant for this to be just a 1 power increase. New. Yeah, this is an absolute amount of power. Okay, well, at least it shows that it's working. Okay, so there's that one. Now, what were the other ones that we added in? Haste is on the fire sword. Boots have dodge. Okay, boots have dodge. Let's go put put some boots on. Although the rogue has a chance to dodge anyway. So we need to, well, first of all, we need to go sell some of this stuff. Let's do that. Let's go add a bunch of workers, add a bunch of customers. And then hire a new adventurer that cannot dodge. So the mage. Put the mage into battle, grant ourselves some more items. We need boots. There they are. All right, so we put this there. We start a battle, and unfortunately, it's a 5% chance. So we're going to have to wait for 20 attacks on average. Time to watch this forever. All right, you did not dodge. Let's speed this up. So far, nothing. The buff is still running. Still so far, nothing. I should just increase the chance at this point. I'm just trying to save myself some effort here. Yeah, all right, fine. I don't know. Small dodge buff mod. All right, so this is 5%. Let's set this at 55%. And let's try running that again. Okay, boots go there. Start the battle. Now we should dodge more than half the attacks. Did not dodge. Dodged that, but we also had stealth. Did not dodge. I'm beginning to think this isn't working, although we did dodge 2 out of 4 so far. I guess if the mage can dodge, that's all we need to do to test. So just unlock all the adventurers and put the mage into battle. Are you able to dodge? So far, no, and it should have happened. All right, am I granting the right thing? I am. Up there, it dodged. Okay, cool, it's working. I'm going to speed this up and we should see it happen. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 5. Yeah, cool, it's working. Okay, so that was dodge. Next up is haste. Haste is also not going to be obvious. Let's just make it super obvious. Let's grant you a massive bonus to haste. And then go equip a fire sword. Transparent overlay for your values. Hard to see 11G against a gray tile set. We need to do something to fix that. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. But yeah, I know what you're saying. When we added this, we needed to put an outline around this text. So we also need to put around the values over here. Although we're also probably just going to have tooltips when you hover over them. All right, so there's our fire sword. Let us go and put this inside this thing. And now start the battle, and we should be attacking super fast. Yep. That's very cool to see. Let's see the mage now. It's just like spammed mental swiftness there. Yeah, I think it's working. Which means the archer should be going nuts, right? In fact, if we put a bunch of points into this and a bunch of points into this, and then go start a battle with the archer, a couple of tanky characters, and a cleric. They're all going to have haste, though, so they're going to attack quite quickly. Yeah, the archer is going nuts. Yeah, this is certainly powerful. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so set that back to what it should have been. And then what else did we add? Did I test everything? I did not test the mitigation one, but I think we tested that last time. Yeah, mitigation buff mod. All right, let's set mitigation to 100%. We'll take no damage. Actually, I wonder if just all buffs should last the same amount. No, probably not. What grants us mitigation? The breastplate. So this. If I put this on and I go into battle, I should take no damage. Yeah, good. Hey, Glass Cup. All right, well, we can check that in. So this part is done. And Let's go look through everything. Yep. Wait, right? Yep. Haste buff. Yep. Heal at the end of battle. We made sure that's working. Heal over time buff. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Don't need this here. All right. Hey, Toulouse. Yeah, I want to start streaming a little bit more, at least in the next week or so. There was something that just came up right now. Oh, drat, what was it? I don't remember. I don't know what it was. What did I see as I looked through this? Oh yeah, right. Writing a comment in the battle system for why this is done exactly here. Some mods may affect life amount, which should happen before auto battle kicks in so that the timer is set correctly. So add some battle mods. I just added some weak mods to some items. Yeah. All right, see if unconsumed item is still needed in Enchanter Den. Is this used anywhere? No. Okay, let's delete it. Remove unused code. We'll also run this and just make sure. Hey, Goose. Is it launching? Yeah, yeah. Okay, as long as it launches, it means it's fine because it wasn't used anywhere. All right, next up, make the crystals show details about the buff when you hover over them. Okay, so there are a couple ways we can do this. Wow, I had a lot of tabs open. I was expecting to have that many. All right. So problem, we need to show which buffs you have active on the crystals and how much time is remaining. So option number 1, hovering over any crystal shows you the details of all crystals. And option number 2 is hover over individual crystals to show details of that one crystal. And option number 3 is something not involving hovering. I don't think people liked the idea of having the times remaining shown in world at all times. So right now, nothing tells you what the items do and nothing tells you what your crystals are doing, right? So yeah, it could just be you hover over this and you see details for all of these. And they could even be in the colors of the crystals. So you could see blue text that says something like +5 healing after battle. I think you just want to see them all at once. I'm leaning toward option number 1. And I don't think this dialogue needs to be too crazy at first. I think the simplest thing is color text based on the crystal and just render all effects and their times. I wouldn't like it showing in world. Wouldn't mind a small UI in a corner or similar. Otherwise, you see all when hovering. You mean a small UI that's ever present in one of the corners? I guess it could also be that you click the NPC and they tell you. Oh, I don't think I want you to have to click to see. Yeah, next to money, for example. I see. So there are some crystal icons up here and you hover over them and you can see what they do. Yeah. Option number 4, dedicate some screen space to showing crystals that are active in the UI, then hover over those for details. That would work. We don't have our final UI yet, but Dark has been doing some mockups for this. Hovering over that or hovering the in-world crystal shows the mod. Wait, hovering over the in-world crystals you're saying is the same as hovering over this up here? Or it would show you in-world space? Maybe I misunderstood the first part. Maybe you don't want it showing in world space all the time. Because what I was picturing originally was something like this, where you hover over one of these and it pops up a dialogue that just says, like, red +5 life for whatever, 1 minute, 2 seconds. Green plus blah for blah, blue. Blah for blah. Yeah, so there'd be a dialogue that just shows, not this large, but something like that. Will buffs have to be discovered by disenchanting an item for the first time, or is that information always available? Oh, that's an interesting idea. That's a really interesting idea. I like the thought of having to disenchant them once to see what they do. But the problem is that not all of them are going to be unique. So you might disenchant like 5 different weapons and realize that they all do the same thing. And for rare weapons or rare items, it might be disappointing to disenchant it first. Hey, puppet. So I'm not sure, but I'll write that down as an idea at least. I think I'm leaning toward not doing it. If we don't have unique mods, this may be disappointing. Also, for rare items, it requires losing out on the value to even see if you like the mod. Although maybe those could always be revealed. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha, Kevin. Yeah. Timers. Okay. So then let's at least start with the basic thing of you can hover over pretty much any part of this entire area and you'll see the details of all the crystals. Yeah. I think that can work. All right, so how do we want to do this? I guess we want something sort of like this setup where we have a panel and we just put some details inside there. Does anything else do this in the game right now? I don't think so. Yeah, I guess like signs and stuff are the closest to what we have for that. What does a signpost do? Nothing. It just spawns a dialogue. What kind of dialogue does it spawn? Build dialogue. Yeah, it's the same basic thing. Okay, whatever. I'll just save this as maybe in town enchant details. Yeah. All right, let's detach the script. Let's attach a new script. Source scene script. Enchant details. Okay, now what is inside this thing? Maybe we just say enchants, and then the description label is going to be a rich text label. All right, so add rich text label. This is a test. Cool, delete these things. Make this unique. Call this, I don't know, details? Maybe details label is better. Yeah. Title label. We don't even need to fetch this. Okay. Could be a tooltip like the ability panel ones, right? Yeah, it could be. I don't think we have the concept of an in-world tooltip yet. Although we could make that exist. These are all UI tooltips. So nothing happens right now when you hover over something in the world. But yeah, I do think it makes more sense to theme them as the tooltips that we already have. Where is that? It's just tooltip, I guess. Yeah. Okay. We want to put it in world coordinates. Something puts a tooltip in world coordinates right now. I know that something does this. I just don't remember what. This. What calls this? Party section by... Oh, right. I remember. The guild master. When you hover over these are in world coordinates, so they always stay on the screen, and yet when you zoom in, they also zoom in, which is probably a mistake. Oh. Yeah, this is probably just a mistake. Also, this UI is going to change. I think what we want is when you hover over this, we just show a dialogue that was kind of already there, which could be a tooltip. We can't dynamically put in the contents of this thing, though. I'm going to just worry about the theming later. Yeah, I'm going to worry about the theming later. All right, so what do we need to do? We need the Enchanter Den to have a hover area, which cannot absorb the clicks. So we add an area to D, collision shape, add a rectangle, and I guess hovering over kind of anything in this general area. Whoops. Yeah. So what are we going to call this? This is the hover area. All right, Enchanter Den. Private area 2D hover area. And ready, we'll go get this thing. And then we need to add in mouse entered. And this is just going to show the tooltip. Yeah, show tooltip, or like, I guess we need to get the tooltip. Including the pots, we'll show when dropping items. Maybe a good idea, just pointing it out. Yeah, I think you'd want to see it. And I think that would make it extra clear that you are overwriting a buff, because you'd see it get overwritten in the UI. Any clue why an image with a GIF read in the read as data URL would crash your browser? Is it too large? Because that could be a possibility. Yeah. What are we doing? We're adding a tooltip here. How do other dialogues do this? I don't recall. Dialogue even needs to do this. Battle party section. Party chooser. start instance. Okay, here it is, control tooltip. But I guess what we really care about is the guildmaster's dialog, right? Yeah, this also has a control and a tooltip. We want this to show in world coordinates though. So I don't think we're gonna, I'm not gonna worry about this too much. View the data in developer console, only on Firefox, not on Chrome though. Could just be a bug. If you come up with a minimal repro and share with people, they could see if it crashes their browser. All right, so we're going to instantiate in a tooltip. I'm going to give this a unique name. We're going to put this in the right spot. Which is here, but we want it to be centered. Anchor at the bottom center. I don't feel like the anchor actually worked. What happens if this gets more text inside of it? No, that worked. Okay. Yeah, might be fine. Okay. Yeah, let's go get the tooltip. There. And then in here, we're going to show it. And in here, we're going to hide it. All right. So it's just going to say skill details or something. I didn't customize the text yet. We got to do that next. But let's see if this looks good. And that you can still drop items and everything. Does not look good. Why is it in the middle right there? Does this show it at the mouse? No, what? What? I saved the scene. Why is it not showing up here? It's saying the same text too, right? Yeah. And it's always in the same spot. But why there and not up here? What would do that? It should be anchored to where this thing is. Huh, I don't know. All right, let's start it through Godot and maybe we can learn something through this. Now it's correct? Okay, I think something funky just happened with saving. That's my guess. I think everything was, it was probably right the first time. Yeah. Although, does that look higher up than it was before? There's like a little bit of space in between, maybe 8 pixels. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, I think we just need to drop this down a bit. Something like this. It's not too crazy. Hey, Q boy. Okay, so then we need to fill it with the right contents. And that needs to be done anytime. Where do we get these timers from? I think the Enchanter crystal has it. Yeah, this has a timer. We need to get the remaining time. We basically need like a get string. I'll just make a function for that. Public string buff string or buff description or details or something like that. Oh, this has to be able to return nothing if it's not active. There is no description for this. We're just going to say grants a buff. Special honey rice is turning out pretty good. I'm a chef. Is it a large image, Puka? All right, we have a little bit of, what's this? We don't actually need anything special in here, do we? I don't think we do. Where did my Enchanter den go? Here it is. All right, so show tooltip, and then anytime you, it's really anytime time passes. So I think we are just going to put this in process. Override process. If tooltip is visible in tree. Yeah, that. Then update tooltip. Okay. Tooltip text equals, I don't want any of this garbage. I just want, this is some text. There's no text, it's just set text. Ooh, is this going to update the position on the screen? I really hope it doesn't. Oh, darn it, it is. Drat. Well, we're going to make a new Boolean for that. Show at mouse. Yeah, so position tooltip near mouse is only going to be called if we actually want it to be there. There. And then this one is going to set, I don't care about this thing. This is going to set that the tooltip should not position it near the mouse. Where's the mouse thing? Show at mouse. Yeah, false. Few megabytes. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is that it's a few megabytes in GIF form, but then base64 is going to expand it. So it's going to be even more megabytes. And typically, I don't think browsers like dealing with incredibly large base64 strings. I remember looking into this back in the Botland days. Also, even for Homepagerizer, the way this works is you get to a very, very long URL, which is not base64 encoded, but just incredibly long. And some browsers are fine with it and some aren't. Okay, so this should just say this is some text. No, I did not restart this. Yeah, perfect. Okay, although it is very large, can we not shrink this? No, because it has a minimum size built into this. Is that correct? Oh God, it does. Okay, well, that's why they made editable children here. We could just set the minimum size on this to be lower, right? Drag my mouse to save myself some time here. Yes. Why doesn't this get the size from the parent, though? This text is going to be too large. I think we also need to shrink the size of this. Set this to 107. It's good enough. Font size. Font size is all set to 1. What actually sets the font size? Why are these all yellow? Oh, because it's the editable children thing? And it's all just going to get overwritten anyway eventually? All right, well, whatever. Let's try this. Hey, Godot. Kept putting base64 encoded images on one of our products. Page load went from 20 seconds to 1. Oh, hopefully that dev learned. Okay, so the tooltip that we want, we need a special case here. If you have no active buffs, yeah, if this count is 0, then we're going to set the text no active enchantments. Drag an item to a pot to, I guess, disenchanted. Yeah, that. Okay, otherwise we want to show a list, and this is going to be string text. All right, enchantments /NULLI hello. World. Let's try that. Hey, 3D Extended. I just mentioned you the other day because I was using whatever you call it when you have parameter tags like pot colon something. I was like 3D Extended told me to do that. So no active enchantments, drag an item to a pot to enchant it, and I drag an item and it says hello world. Unfortunately, this is not how you do list items apparently. BB code list items. Today is Thursday. Yeah, I don't usually stream on Thursday. OLUL. What am I doing wrong? ULLI. I don't see a problem here. And yet clearly this isn't rendering correctly. And it's BB code. Do I do this anywhere else? I do this somewhere else, yeah. And it must not be LI. UL here. Oh, it's just new lines. Oh, so /n world. Is that right? I'm just trying to get the structure of this because I think the content should be pretty easy. Yeah. Then I think we need another new line. That's seriously how this has to work. The UL goes on its own line, and then so does the ending one. All right. No, it's still not working. What? This one worked fine. Oh, the last one's missing a slash. Oh, I deleted it accidentally. Yeah, thank you, Tequila. Yeah. In fact, we might not have needed the new line there. And well, I don't know. We do it in the skill tree that way. I guess let's find out. Yeah, that works. Okay, so yeah, enchantments, hello world. So what we want to do is we want to show, to do render colors for each enchantment. These should probably be subtle, just something to make it clear what's what. Render the time, and then render the enchantment details. All right. Time remaining. We want to format this in a human readable way, and we did that with the battle duration. This honey mayo rice is not too bad. It's like a Zelda recipe. SVG. Wow. I feel like a CDN should know how to serve just regular image files. Okay, where do we format the duration? It's on here somewhere. And I probably wrote a function for this. Time span from seconds. Oh, we made this very simple. Do we ever foresee having like hour-long buffs? I don't think so. Yeah, also this had a format that would then switch to fractions of a second. So I guess if you have 10 seconds remaining, I don't think you care though. Yeah, I think all you care about is minutes and seconds. Yeah, because this is not something that's going to be on the order of like 2 seconds every time. It's going to be on the order of 60 or 120 or something. Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll do something like this. So the buff description is going to be, we need the amount of time remaining. So time span timer.time left. This is a double and this is not a double. No, this is a double. Why is it complaining? Cannot reference the non-static field. This isn't static though. Is this not the syntax for a property? Probably isn't. I think I need to write get. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, anyway, it's something here, and we just need to figure out what the syntax is. How about this? Let's just make it look like that. And now we know for sure it's going to be fine. And we'll worry about the syntax in a second. Okay, so return the duration string and syntax error : expected. that part I don't understand. That's minutes and seconds. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot the ternary part of this. Yeah, otherwise we just want the number of seconds. And we had that in this. And we just don't want it to show with any fractional number. Okay. Now can we turn this into a property? Yes, we can. There we go. We figured it all out. So that's going to be the buff description. We want to get this for all of these. So we're going to do for each. Although we need to know which mod comes from which crystal. So I think we actually want to loop over the Enchanter crystals. Crystal and crystal. And we're going to start the text up here. This is how this should look. So we're going to add text plus equal a new line. And then crystal.buff description. Yep. And then finally add in another new line in the closing thing, right? Yeah. All right, so we don't have real text here yet. This is literally just the time remaining. We also need there to be actual text. So we'll write description like that. We don't have the descriptions anywhere, so we can't actually do that yet. And then, yeah. In fact, it might look better to put it in like square brackets in the beginning. I'm not sure. I'll have to actually see this. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so we go and disenchant this. And the timer doesn't update. Probably just incorrect. No. Input was not in the correct format. Probably this. Yeah, this is wrong. Should be %s. Yeah. Never thought of abusing them in such a horrific way. Those poor SVGs. Did you actually put mayo in the rice, Caleb? Because that does not sound good to me. Nice. Take a look at that. Does it make the text jump every second? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And we probably should make this be fixed width at some point. But for now, let's just put it in parentheses. Okay, so how do we get the descriptions of these? We don't have them anywhere. Power buff mod. We could add a toString function or like a get tooltip function. That's what abilities do. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, get description tooltip. Okay, so let's go to the base of this. Always sounds gross, but is surprisingly good. You know, back when I was on Reddit, excuse me, every once in a while there'd be a thread which is like, what doesn't go well with cream cheese or with chocolate or with, I think people said mint. Every once in a while these would pop up. But yeah, mayo. I know I don't know. Mayo is in probably quite a lot of stuff, but just, yeah, it doesn't sound great sometimes. Mayo and rice. I guess rice was one of them that someone did. Goes very well with mayo. Yeah, well, I guess there's a lot of sushi that has mayo on it. And I like sushi. And I like those rolls, so maybe I'm just a genius. Honey mayo rice. Of course, it's all in Caleb's execution. Yeah, so I want to put this get ability tooltip thing over here. There's just a get tooltip. This is public. We're going to override this. And we're going to put this into battle mod here. All right, so get tooltip. We don't need any entity passed in. This gets a name. I don't think we want names to show for this. And then it gets a description, which I think can just be the description. Yeah, we can just say no tooltip defined. All right, cool. Then let me override this. It's true. I didn't pull this from nowhere. All right, so we're just going to do this for the small power buffer right now. This is going to be override tooltip. And how do we do this? Grant all adventurers plus absolute power. Public const. Is this a float? It is a float. So plus this much. I think we put :0 here. Power for the entire battle. Okay, let's try that. We need tooltips for every single one of these things. I don't know if having a plus sign there and the word grant is a good idea. Also, we need something that grants us power. I think the cloak does. It would have been helpful if I called get tooltip. Oh man. All right, we need the battle mod, which we don't have. We just have the ID. Why did I do this? What's wrong with me? Oh, there's no way to do this, is there? We only have a type and an ID. We make these when it comes to battles. We could make one here. And then instead of active mod being an ID, we have active mod being an actual battle mod. Then something needs to dispose of it. Also, it needs a battle system. Oh my god. We just need a tooltip. We just need a tooltip. I think they can appear around tools. Can the tooltip go onto the data? It probably can. If we have a string tooltip in here. The question is basically just going to be, does this ever need parameters? So are we ever going to have a buff that says something like grants +2 power per adventurer hired, and then we need to say something like +10 since you have 5? I don't think so. Yeah. This will teach you, Caleb. Except I'm the one who fell for the trap here. Yeah, we could put this in here as long as it's ever just a string. Alternatively, I guess if it's ever not just a string, then we can just construct one in here. It's not the end of the world if we have to make one. But it does kind of make me think that we did something wrong with this. So I guess let's put the tooltip in here. String tooltip. And now every time we make a battle mod data, we need a tooltip. Which is going to be a little annoying because it's going to go all onto this line. Tooltip. This shouldn't say +1. Oh, this is static. So I don't think we can do what I'm trying to do here. Let's see if we can. No, that doesn't work. Okay, good. So we get rid of this. And we need a way of fetching the tooltip from this. Tooltip is confusing given the existence of the method get tooltip. Not anymore. And then from the crystal, we get the tooltip here, which we're gonna get like this. Yeah, tooltip equals this. JavaScript never leaves me. And then the last thing we need to do is make sure that the data can actually have a nullable tooltip, I guess. Or that it just has a default. Hello world. Kilo world. Helicopter world. I don't know if I said this, but hi Spike. All right, so when we drag a cloak, we see grant all adventurers +1 power for the entire battle. Hey, Alder Baby, welcome back. I'm doing well. I don't normally stream on Thursdays, but I wanted to get a little bit more work done on the game. Gotta get that time from somewhere. Now, if we drag a weapon, it's going to say, I guess it's going to say the same thing. We need to really shrink the size of this text. What doesn't give you that buff? There it is. Yeah, hello world. Okay. Maybe what we should say is enchantments, and when you have multiple, it'll say like none in orange, then the green one, then none in blue. It could say no potion buff, no armor buff, no weapon enchantment. Yeah, maybe that's better. But I kind of like the whole dragon item onto this thing. How do we shrink the size of this text? Like, where is it set to begin with? That's the part I don't understand. I know we can override it with a theme override, but what is giving it the size it has now? I guess it's just the default size of the text? Or did I scale something? I did not scale anything. I'm just surprised the default size is that big. I also like that. Show the empty slot. All right, we can see what that looks like at least. Let's just override this. Normal font size. Where is it? Here. Set this to 16. Is this even having an effect? It was 16? Wow. This is 8 pixels right now. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see what that looks like. Something just feels wrong with that. Why is this? Is anything scaling this up to double? No. Yeah, no. I mean, I get that this is a true type font. I'm zoomed in to like 3600%. So I guess if I zoomed out to 100%, we'd see it actually 8 pixels. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's due to the game scale because it is scaled like that. All right, let's go finish writing up this thing. So we need colors. And the color should probably match the text here. And the font is usually white, so we should pick the lighter colors that we have. So let's get the old color picker tool, which I can't click for some reason. There we go. All right, what are you? You are this. I think we can just put hex colors in here. Have I done that yet? No, but I think we can. All right, so we know the crystals color thing. So somewhere we're going to need that information. And we don't have that information anymore. I'll just make a switch for right now. String color equals crystal.item category switch. Yeah, so potion is going to be this. That's what I wanted. Why can't I copy text? There. I don't know if we need a pound sign there. So we're going to put color equals color. Let's try that. So it's going to be that orangish color. Ideally, that's all we're testing right now is if the orange color works. So we just drag this on. Nice, yeah, okay, looks good. Does look a little bit grainy because of the zoom. And this is illegible. Drat. I wonder if we just shouldn't even have this in screen space. Or in world space, I mean. Also, I wonder, can you make the bullet point be a different color? You probably need to put the UL over here. Or no, wait, no, we wouldn't. What am I talking about? We probably have to put the new line in here. I wonder if that's gonna work. All right, well anyway, that one works, and then we need the other colors. Armor is green, and that green color is this. Armor is there, and then the blue color is this. Maybe if you use the LI. I didn't think the LI worked, but let's try this. And then the only other thing we need to do is when you don't have enchantments, we say no weapon or no potion or no armor. Well, it did color the bullet point correctly, but it also put in an extra bullet point. Where's the extra one coming from? Huh. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little confused about how this is working. How should we be able to get this to work? We want something like enchantments, a new line, and then UL. And then I did not actually press enter. I did color equals red. Hello. Oh, we had to put a new line here. Okay, I see. So how do we get that to look right? I don't think LI is a thing in BB code. Or at least not this BB code. BB code list. List items must be provided by putting one per line of text. The bullet point can be customized using bullet parameter. Unordered list bullet. No, I don't want that. Yeah, so somehow, I guess we need to set the color before we've called UL. We delete this. Yeah, there's no way to color the first bullet point unless I set the color there. Wait, this doesn't work either. That works. But now we have, okay, that's what I want. Okay, so we got to set the first color outside of the UL. That's a little weird. Don't use a list and just add the bullet point thing. Yeah, I kind of like this way. Like this should work, and now we should be able to set the color of each individual thing in here too. Yeah. Color red, color blue. Okay. Yeah, so let's do that. So whatever your first one is that you have, we need to set the color of that at the beginning. So I'm just gonna make a private string get color from item category. Good. And then we write this up here. So string first color equals get crystals dot first. It's not crystals dot first though. No, it's always just gonna be the potion one. What am I talking about? Yeah. Let's do item. Actually, no, I guess it is crystals dot first. That's fine. Okay, so text plus equal the first color. And then that's it, right? Yeah, then we put the UL on the next line. And then we put a closing color here. We also put a color like this. We don't need a new line anymore. And if there is no mod, then we change the description. Description equals... Actually, it could just say no weapon, no potion, no whatever mod. That could just come from buff description. So we just delete this. If active mod equals none, return no This is not gonna look correct because we don't have a display name for this. But let's see. Yeah, so we need some item category data. I want to write that down. Need item category data with the display name and the color, associated color. Can I run this? Indexing at 0 should be used because it's a list. Is it a list? It is. Oh. No, that's a mistake. Can we delete this now? Maybe we should put an extra thing in the tooltip when you don't have any enchantments that you have to drag an item to get the enchantment. I think that would probably look pretty good. So if this equals 0, then text plus equal drag an item onto a pot to disenchant it. Show the text gray so it matches a crystal. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. In which case the color would need to be determined from this thing, or we just check here. But before we get to that, this is saying no enchantment for all of these, and there's no new line. The new line needs to be here. Oh wait, no, the new line can't be there. The line needs to be here, and then we don't add one like that. All right, all the to-do items are done. Using C# because it came from Unity, trying to decide if it's worth setting up GD extension to use my own IDE and preferred language or not. I'm using C# not because it came from Unity, but because I was using GD script for the prototype of this game and I ran into a bunch of issues. I've got a little bit of information about it in this why not GD script. So to be honest, GD script has even gotten better since I started working on the prototype of this, which was just earlier this year. Yeah, this doesn't look very good. I want to get the exact same thing we had from over here. And it's got to be that there's a new line after color. And then another new line. Yeah, after each of those. And then the final new line here. Hey, Richie. Yeah, sure, Indy. I'm happy to answer any other questions too. Why is this happening? What am I doing wrong here? I thought I'm doing every... Oh, wait. Oh, I have 2 lists. Oh, how did that happen? Oh, drat. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. All right, so this is what it should look like. Is like this. Enchantments and then a color. So this should have just been here. And then a color, a new line, and a... Yeah, okay. So we can just say the text equals this. Oh, that took me longer than I probably should have. And then the only other thing we have to do is potentially color the text gray if there's no enchantment. Godot is improving every couple months. I think my concern is that I started using Godot in 2020, and a lot of the issues that I was experiencing back then are only just getting fixed now. So that's also what didn't give me any confidence that GD script is ever going to get fixes, because it took like 4 years for some of the things I saw back then. All right, this looks much better. The problem is that maybe we don't want those to be colorful until you have a buff. So yeah, we also don't have all the different tooltips. But yeah, this looks pretty nice. All right, I want to see what happens when this runs out. So let's set this to 8x speed. Should just say no buff again. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. So the question is, do we want them to be gray when you don't have a buff? And I don't know the answer. Yeah, no enchantment. So if the active mod is none, then color equals, I think we can just write dark gray. Oh, although actually it should match the crystal color, which is this. No, we should just say gray. I think it'll be obvious. Also, is it, I spell it with an A. I'm guessing both would work, but I'm just gonna use the way that I prefer. Just because I want to use a real language with use outside of the engine. Yeah, I think C# is a nice language. I think I'm having some friction with Godot regardless of the language I use necessarily. Okay, this works except for now the very first bullet point is still orange and should not be orange. It should be based on whether you have an item there or not. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. Yeah, I guess we could just do it this way. String text equals empty. And then here, if text equals string.empty, or what do we say? String.is null or empty? Yeah. If the text is empty at this point, then now that we know the bullet color, we can do this. Yeah. And what, we don't need string here? Oh, it's lowercase. Set the title only once we know the first bullet point's color, due to how the color tag needs to appear before the UL. Use string.empty. Yeah. Nice, Dustin. Yeah. And it has tables. Yeah, we might switch to that eventually. Oh, that's still not working. What? First color. Oh, first color doesn't need to be used. It's just color now. All right. Yeah. And it's perfect. So enchantments, no potion enchantment, no armor enchantment, no weapon enchantment. We drag an item onto here. And we see the enchantment we got. Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. What's the last one? Potion? Yeah. All right, now we got to go write a bunch of tooltips. We got to go make item data a thing. And let's start with the tooltips. Battle mod. So we did power. Now we need mitigation. Where does the power one go? Power mod. Here. Yeah. So we put this here. All right, so grant all adventurers. How do we render percentages? Search for the word chance. P0. T0, and it's mitigation percent. And what do we call mitigation percent? Damage reduction? Hang on a second. Do I use pluses elsewhere? Where's get ability tooltip? I don't use pluses. What about for something like blessing of haste? What does that say? Making them act faster. I kind of like the plus. I feel like I'm just going to keep that. All right, well, let's keep filling in the rest of these. In fact, if I just do this, we should be able to get all of these at once. Yeah, so dodge, that's here. Grant all of them dodge percent. Chance to dodge for the entire battle. Haste. Grant haste percent. Grant all adventurers haste for the entire battle. I don't think I've ever used the word haste before, user facing. I think I've said make them act faster. Make all adventurers act. Now having a plus here is kind of weird. Faster. Sure, whatever. I don't know, we should do a consistency pass at some point. All right, this tooltip is heal percent. Heal all adventurers for this much of their max life after the battle ends. This is heal over time. This needs a whole bunch of things here. This is the healing per tick and the proc interval. Public const float healing per tick proc interval. Okay, so this is healing per tick. This is the proc interval. Now we need to cram all that into the tooltip. Grant all adventurers healing per tick health every this much S for the entire battle. Okay. Is that everything? I think that's everything. Okay, let's go try this out. We just had to remember which items give which things. It's not that hard. All right, so the fire sword gives the haste buff. Make all adventurers act 5% faster for the entire battle. The breastplate gives the damage mitigation. Grant all adventurers plus 105%. It's a small mitigation buff. It means I accidentally left in that, yeah. All right, well, it's technically correct. Grant all adventurers plus 105% damage reduction for the entire battle. Then I forgot which potion it was. This one. Heal all adventurers for... No, that shouldn't say plus 50%. Heal all adventurers for 50% of their max life after the battle ends. And then what are the other ones we haven't tested here? I know these things are wiggling, by the way. I need to fix that at some point. Boots. Here we go, boots. Grant them a 5% chance to dodge for the entire battle. What else do we need to test? Mitigation, dodge, haste, power. Power would be this. Yeah. Heal, and then, oh yeah. The other one was the occasional heal, which is this small potion, right? Grant all adventurers 3 health every 4 seconds for the entire battle. Cool. Happy Monday, a pretzel. Glad it's not Thursday. It would be a very unhappy Thursday. All right, well, this is pretty nice. Yeah. The other thing I wonder is if we should add the word remaining in parentheses there. Oh, also, what happened to the title of this thing? We don't have a title. Can we make some font size thing in here, though? I think we can. Pretty sure we did this somewhere. Custom font size. Okay, so we should just make the enchantments thing a little bit larger. Size equals 16. There. Am I bigger than usual? Yes, slightly. I wanted to fix the green screen, so I changed some parameters. Yeah, perfect. So now you see in the dialogue size equals 16. That way you know to interpret it as larger text. Apparently it's not size. What are we supposed to do for this? I could have sworn I had done this somewhere. Font underscore size. Where does it tell you that you're supposed to write font underscore size? Oh, it can be font space size? Whatever. Hmm. Looks a little bit bad. I wonder if we should just center it. I think there's a center. And maybe 12 pixels instead of that big. And maybe no colon. I guess if we're going to center that, we should center the bulleted list too. Probably just center everything in here. I think that would look good though if we did that. Well, maybe not once we actually have something filled in, right? I don't know because I'm terrible at coming up with things. So let's just drag this center somewhere else. Down here. Outside of the color. Which I guess should be like that. Oh man, sorry, I know this is super tedious and I'm not actually doing anything interesting right now. And also I shouldn't be focusing on this at all, so let's probably just see if this looks good. Yeah, I think it's probably bad centered. Yeah, I don't think this is how people read. And so maybe we just get rid of the centers. Is it left align and ability tooltips? I don't actually remember. I'll have to take a look. All right, this is whatever, good enough. Yeah. They're showing in the wrong spot because this doesn't default to true. It hurts. It hurts. Show at mouse equals true. I didn't even read the contents of them to see if they were centered or not. I just saw that bug and wanted to fix it. They're left aligned. And this is left aligned. Yeah. Okay, I think this is good. Drag an item onto a pot to disenchant it. Bloop. Pretty good, except for... I guess it flashes 1 minute, 10 seconds for very, very little time. But I think that's okay. I think it's rounding. The one thing I haven't really totally looked at yet, let's drag a weapon here and then speed this up a little bit. There. No, not enough. There, okay. I want to see this run out. All right, now let's see. Does it show 0 seconds on the green line? Or does it just end? It does. I think that's fine. Yeah. I don't think that's a problem. Okay, cool. They basically mean rarities and tiers. I hope you would see that they're corresponding to the color of the crystal. And if not, I think that's okay because you'd eventually realize that, wait a second, all the armor enchantments are green. Oh, the other thing you'd realize is you'd probably only start with potion enchantments and they'd all show up orangish. And then when you unlock other crystals, you'd see the colors. I think it's good. So you now have a way of seeing which enchantments you have total, but you don't have a way of seeing them on the battles. So what we're going to need to do is check this in and then keep working. Actually, we need to do this before we check in. Then check in. I'm oblivious, never would have connected that. I think it's fine as long as you don't come up with your own explanation that misleads you. So if you did think, oh, this is some super rare buff and that's why it's orange, that's okay, right? As long as you're not like, oh man, I want other super rare buffs. I think this is okay. Alternatively, what we could do is render the crystal in here. I don't think we need to do that though. I think it's probably fine. And then they run out. Yeah. And then it gives you the instructions on how to get an enchantment. All right, I am pretty happy with how this is all going. I'm going to take a break and then we're going to do this stuff and then move on to whatever the next item is. What are the hard items here? Whatever, break time. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Wow, competition's really heating up over here. I'm seeing more people toward the end now. Close the game. Okay, so where we left off is we need some information associated with an item category, a display name, and a color. Is there anything else? I wonder where else we use item category and whether there should be something else. I mean, I guess things like this, which is what, the position in the sprite sheet. What is this class? Oh, come on. Item category. This is Enchanter crystal. Enchanter crystal needs sprite sheet information. Convert a PS4 controller input to jumps. Oh man. A Super Meat Boy type replay. I haven't played Super Meat Boy in forever, so I don't remember the replay thing, but actually a replay would be kind of interesting. Just play it back in super speed. Then again, I tend to get back and to just start the stream again. A replay would take minimally 5 more seconds. It's 5 seconds we don't have in the schedule. I've reserved it all for this explanation of why we don't have extra time. Yeah, we could just make clips and play them back at 10x speed. That'd be just as hard as just coding a replay feature, I think. All right, so where else do we have display names? Because I know I've done this somewhere. Abilities, apparently. I guess we search for a comma. Ability data, adventurer data, and instance data. Yeah. All right, well, anyway, let's save this somewhere. We'll save it in items under item category data. We need something that stores this data though, right? Okay, so display name. Yeah, we need something that stores this data. Ugh. OBS has an instant replay, really? I wonder where. Huh. Yeah, looking through this quickly, I don't see something, so maybe it's an extension. All right, so we need a display name. What else did I say? We need a color, string text color, I guess. And we need, should be item category data. And we need, that's the last thing, the coordinates. Enchanter crystal. We might need more than that. What is this? This is the x coordinate of the crystal. Doesn't that mean we also need a y coordinate? Yes. So we need vector to crystal. It should probably just be a rectangle, right? Yeah, it should probably just be a rectangle. Where'd that go? Rect to crystal rect. Import Godot. What else? What else? What else? Anywhere else that we switch on item category, I wonder? That's all item data. That's all fine. Fine, fine, fine. Any hard-coded numbers? There's that, but that's crystal. We already looked at that. There's this, but these are colors, which we're going to go modify. Ah, and then the pot. We need the pot rectangle. Anything other than that? I think that's good. Yeah, I don't see any other hard-coded things here. Oh, this. Well, that's not user-facing. Where are the pots? Here. This should also just be a rect. Yeah, pot rect. But I need to know a programming language to make a game in Godot. I believe so. They used to have something called Visual Script, which I think they got rid of. Is this gone? Yeah, they discontinued it in Godot 4. But back in Godot 3, they had this sort of thing that you could do, where you could like drag blueprints essentially and then just connect things. I'm not actually sure why they got rid of it. Why did they write this? Maybe just too much to maintain. Never gained traction and the path to improve it was never clear. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, but if you do want visual scripting, I think Unity has some extension that supports it, and I think Unreal has blueprints out of the box. Yeah. Hey, Vibehuff. Oh, it was a 6-year post? I gotcha. With that said, a lot of getting started with Godot is in their GD script thing, and it is programming, but it's not so complex. So I would suggest giving it a shot. If you were to just look through what's going on here, ignoring the stuff at the top, and then looking at something like this, I was going to say this is sort of easy to understand, but I guess if you've never coded before, you would need to know what parameters and functions are. Yeah. Anyway, I still suggest giving it a shot because the very basics of coding are variables. So saying something like power equals 5. There are function calls, which is something like set position 2, 3. Function definitions, which is the way you would make set position. So it takes in an X and a Y, and then it maybe changes the position. Position equals whatever, I don't know, vector 2, X, Y. And then control flow. So something like if X is greater than 5, then do something in particular. These are the really basics of programming, and you can do quite a lot with just this stuff. You don't necessarily need to learn about data structures yet or looping or anything else. You can make a game out of just this stuff. And this stuff is easy enough to learn in like a weekend or a week or something like that. Also, there are lots of tutorials out there. Yeah. So yeah, give it a shot, see if you like it. The other nice thing is that probably any game you start to make is going to have enough resources out there for just how to make the entire game. So if you try to make like Tetris, you could just go look at all the different Tetris examples out there. And that way, if you get stuck, you can look at what someone's done that's correct and then learn from that. But yeah, don't expect learning coding as a whole to take, some number of minutes or some number of hours. It's going to take quite a long time, but getting started with it isn't bad. Hey, Thales, yeah, rare Thursday stream. Excuse me. Okay, so we need a pot rect. Maybe we should call this Enchanter pot rect. I don't know. All right, then we have all item data. We need an all item category data. This is going to be pretty simple. Category, item, category, to item, category, data. And we're just going to call this data. And we're going to make a thing. Whoa, this is making me dizzy. Okay. All right, we have potion. The display name is going to be potion. I guess let's type these things out. Display name. What were the other things? Text color. This came from somewhere else. The Enchanter Den, I think. Yeah. All right, so let's paste this in here. So potions are F4, whatever. Yep, and then the rectangles, I'm just going to do whatever the AI suggests for right now so that I can copy paste in the rest of this. All right, armor is next. This is going to say armor. This is going to have this text color. This is going to say weapon and have this text color. And then the crystal rectangles come from here. So we got to copy paste this. The width is loaded in dynamically. I don't think that's necessary. Yeah. All right, so potion is located at 208, 192, 1632. I don't know if that's correct. It probably is. Yeah, whatever. We'll see if it's wrong. All right, then copy these here and here. And the only thing that changes is the x coordinate. This is 224. No, it's not. It's 240. And this one's 224. Okay, so those are done. Now the pot rectangle. Enchanter pot. So everything is just a bunch of 16s. Weapon is the first one. Weapon is the first one here. Where'd the rest of these go? Armor is 144. And potion is 160. Perfect. Now we're in 2 blog posts of my work covering the abomination of how PowerPoint stores its data down in Excel. Oh, it works and it's done its job. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. Great. What type of keyboard is that? This is the Corn keyboard. Do I have any tests? Very, very few. Such that we might as well have none. Yeah. The way I see it is that we are constantly changing what we're doing. Like originally there was no plan to have an enchanter in the game, and now we're going to have one. But let's say it doesn't work, then we're going to delete it. And then any tests we would have written would just be a waste. So at some point, I think writing tests will be very important. And we're just not there yet. Yeah, the bot needs a cooldown command. I'm just never going to implement that, but I agree. All right, validate data. I'll just call it validate data. And this is going to be item data. Yep, like that. And then gets item category data. There, perfect. Now we need to call this validate all items. Just put this here, all item category data. And now we need to use everything that's in one of these. So let's start with the display name. Somewhere is the word potion. I don't know where that exists. I think in the crystal. Yeah. No item category enchantment. This should be based on the data, I guess. Item category data. Data equals this. This is data.display name. But I wanted lowercase the first. I want to lowercase everything actually. Does not contain a definition for get. Oh, it's all item category data. Excuse me. Technically, this function call only needs to be done here. So cool, that's done. Next up is this one. We get the data and we make a rectangle based on everything that we have here. Yep. So just data.crystalRect. I don't think we need to do anything special. And then we can delete all of this. Easy peasy. Next, we need the enchanter pot. That is here. Delete all of this. Set this to be pot rect. And then there's one last thing, the colors. Yeah. Category data. Let's just search for this. So we're going to get the data. Data equals get. And we don't need any of this stuff. And we can just use the color down here. Yeah, string color equals data.color. Delete this whole function. Okay, anything else that is hard-coded with items? I don't think so. I think this should look good. Let's try this out. I will say this. I think there's an issue with writing tests long after you've written the feature, which is that you forget the details of what you want to test exactly. Sometimes there are interesting, what's the word? I don't know, essentially emergent behavior between two systems. And if you're not writing integration tests, you're not going to find those, and you probably won't think about what those interactions are unless you, I just realized this is showing up beneath a tree. Yeah, unless you've just written the feature. Okay, well, let's try this. So heal all adventurers for 50% of their max life. We have no armor enchantment, no weapon enchantment. The pots are all the right colors. The crystals should all be the right colors. This one needs to be green. Yep. And that tests basically all of it. I technically did not look and see if the word potion is written there, but I'm pretty sure it will be. Yeah, nice. Do they offer quests? Not now, they won't. I don't think they ever will, actually. And if they do, their item bin needs to be accessible to the path. Whereas right now, none of this is pathable. But that's okay. We could always just kind of do something about that. I should probably remove those extra crystals from there. So that's it, right? We're done? Yeah. Now we just need to check in. Ooh. That quest is absurd gold sink or something. Yeah, the problem with quests right now. So, okay, quests just take items, and items would have given you money. So quests essentially cost. It's like a monetary opportunity cost, if that makes sense. You don't spend money on the quest, but you won't earn new money by doing it because you're going to be using your items. But we still need a proper money sink that subtracts your money from the game. And we don't have a lot of those. So in the case of buying shops, you just spend money. I wonder if the Enchanter should be the same way. It just costs like 10,000 gold for you to unlock the next enchantment thing. Literal money sinks. They wash their hands in it. All right, so we have enchantment details. We have a tooltip. Oh, this hello world. What's this doing? This means I forgot to write a tooltip. So we should just delete this. Now we're forgetting to write it is it doesn't build. Yeah, okay, I like the plus there. I didn't like it here. I don't like it there. This is fine. Yeah. This is fine. Yep, yep. 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 Enchant details. I never ended up using this. I guess just delete it. Oh boy. What's going on? Something's messed up. All right, delete this thing. Scene scripts, enchant details. Okay, so that's now gone. And I think it's still where I left off. It's very hard to tell. Yeah, this is still showing there. All right, no enchantment, otherwise return the amount of time and the enchantment that we actually have. Still wrecked. This is good. Good. This is good. Good, good. Good. Yep, cool. Okay. Add enchantment details on hover. When you hover over the crystals or the pots, you'll see which enchantments you have active and how long they have left. Every item and crystal also costs money on top of the item. I could, but already dragging the item deletes it. So there's always that cost at least. Oh, I didn't save this. Oh, darn it. We need to amend the last commit. Did that work? I don't think that worked. I don't think I need to click the plus here. There we go. There's a timer. You have to keep selling items to add some time to the timer. Then you get a big reward. I think if there are enough of those, I think it can be kind of cool. I think if they're once in a while, you might like totally miss it. Well, I guess you could always just make it so you have to trigger the event. How long I've been using it? I think about 3 years. It's whenever I made this video on my personal channel. This was like a month or two after it. It says 2 years ago, but let me mute YouTube. It's already muted. November 26, 2021. Yeah, so it's been about 3 years probably. Maybe a little bit over 3 years. Because I made the video, I want to say a month or two after getting the keyboard. Anyway, I was just so into this idea. This was during the pandemic when I started looking into keyboards a lot more. And that video I just showed there was the keyboard journey one, where I talked about going from a Microsoft keyboard to a GMMK Pro to a Moonlander to the Corn that I'm using now. And I like the Microsoft keyboard. I'm not a fan of the GMMK Pro. I'm just bothered by the company somehow. The Moonlander I didn't really like as a keyboard, but I think it's totally great hardware, and the company seems fine. And yeah, the Corn I'm in love with. It's great. All right, so make them show details. We're done with that. Idea, what about having them gray and then the color when they're active? So we've done this. I just want to have some way to tell the user how much time is left. Could lose color. So we've done both of these things. We could use the sparkly graphics. I don't think I'm going to do that. Just make them grant basic buffs. I don't even know why that's there. Sparkly graphics, basic buffs. Any issues with the fact there's no concavity on the Corn? I don't think so, but I never had issues with any of my keyboards. So probably I'm just lucky in that regard. Can't go back to a flat keyboard anymore. Even my Ergodox hurts. Oh, wow. Yeah, I wonder how long it is before somebody just makes a keyboard that ticks all those boxes. There's the Glove 80, which I don't think has any concavity to it. Oh, it does. Oh, well, maybe this is what you want, although this isn't that small. I wonder how people like this keyboard. But yeah, it's nice to have just a small footprint on the desk. Also, is the keyboard camera like not? If I have my keyboard here, you can't see it, I guess. I can fix that. Yeah, that's better. Taking it to work is such a pain, yeah. Yeah, it's one of the benefits of a tiny keyboard like this. It's very easy to transport. It's just a matter of finding a case for it, which isn't usually too bad. Okay, so what do we have next? Battles need to show you which buffs they have. We need a tutorial on the Enchanter, and items need tooltips on the ground. And I think we're just canceling this thing. It just overwrites your buffs. This is done. This is done. Yeah. Delete some of these things. Just manage this. How many games have I made? I've made a few games. Not all of them have been released, and I don't have them accessible anywhere. Then some of them, like the jump game that I think you were here for. What is going on? My mouse is messing up sometimes and prevents me from typing exclamation marks on my keyboard. Yeah, now it works. I unplugged my mouse to do that. I made this game. I made this game. I made this game. They're all like very different. I do these weird like one-off sort of April Fool's games sometimes. I made oh man, one of the games I thought was a great one that I made a while ago. How do I find this? Adam learns animal. Maybe Minecraft. Yeah, this thing. Oh man, this is like the greatest thing. This was a plugin for Minecraft where you could connect Twitch chat and then play as a sheep and shoot TNT at each other. And in this video, I've got a battle that played out amongst a bunch of different people. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a cool game. So yeah, I've done a lot of different things over the years. All right, make dragging an item grant a buff. We've done that. Yeah, so the remaining tasks are these, I think. I think we're just gonna cancel this. update number 2. Yes, that's what we did. We haven't added this icon yet. I'm not very concerned if we get to it or not. I think it's a nice polished thing though. And then what else is here? Eventually unlock backup slots. I don't think I want to do this. I'm going to just leave it for now. Consider making the queue with smaller crystals on the table. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. Probably unlock only 1 enchanter crystal at a time. That's probably pretty important. This is important, this is important, and this is important. Yeah. So these are the remaining things you have to do. All right, so save this comment. So I put them all at the top. It's almost lunchtime. I don't think I'm going to do a full day of streaming today because I plan on doing a full day tomorrow. And I think tomorrow might be enough to complete all of this stuff. But I want to do a little bit of work right now. So one of the things we can figure out is this. How should you unlock the Enchanter? Should you unlock the Enchanter? And how should you unlock subsequent crystals? Like potion, armor, weapon. I want this to happen after like 1 to 2 hours of playing. Maybe about an hour of playing. Okay, well, our options are spend money, complete a quest, or something else. It could just happen automatically that the Enchanter joins. Thanks, Hio. Hey, Plazas. Oh yeah, boss based. Could be based on beating the first boss. Maybe the first boss drops a rare potion, guaranteed, and you can use it as a buff. I like the boss idea. Yeah, I think what I want to do is you beat the first boss and you're able to build the Enchanter, and then it costs money. Yeah, I think that would be good. Okay, so then yeah, how should you unlock subsequent crystals? I think just spend money for now. Yeah. Okay. I think that's reasonable. And maybe yeah, we can just put a signpost for that. Yeah. All right. So let's write that down. We can just show signs where the next crystal will be. And the sign can say what you'll unlock. And then when we add bosses, so boss here, I'll just add a new item here, which is after beating the first boss, show the sign to unlock the Enchanter. Yeah. Further boss fights unlocked buying the next crystal. Yeah, I'll see what that's like in testing. Where did I write this down? Yeah, we could hide the sign until you've beaten the next boss. But I like the idea of unlocking a little bit more progression at the time that you beat the first boss. And it could be gated on how much money you can get. This is another idea I've been thinking about for a little while, which is what if you had a maximum amount of money and there was a way of increasing it? So if you're idle, at first, the most money you can hold is like 1,000. So it's enough to get a bunch of upgrades and stuff. And if you're playing actively, the max will never affect you. But if you're playing idly, that way you don't just like come back and you've got 1 trillion gold and you trivialize the entire game. I think we probably need to do that. I don't have this written down, do I? No. All right, let's go file a new issue. Only, or like, make a money cap. Keyword max money. I don't want idle players to totally bypass the game by just leaving it running for a while. And I don't want to make a crazy exponential cost / acquisition curve to effectively achieve the maximum money. The effect that having a maximum amount of money would have. So you can pay for a higher limit. No, it definitely can't be that you pay for a higher limit. It's got to be that you do something in the game. And I think beating bosses is probably the most reasonable way. This would also help us balance the game a bit. You could only afford... We would know what you could potentially afford at any point in the game. So make a money cap, allow for raising the cap when hovering over your money, show what the current cap is. When at maximum, when near or at the maximum, change the color of the money label or the background. When at the max, consider adding a warning symbol. Allow for raising the cap and save and load the cap and any events associated with raising it. The events to raise the cap should probably be boss fights. Yeah. Honestly, having the next shot be 500, but your max is 100 would actually kind of be a good thing, because you'd realize, oh, I need to raise the max, and then you just need to learn how to do that. Clear out this space. Save and load the Enchanter. In the tutorial. Yeah, all this stuff sounds pretty reasonable. Oh, all right. Well, we've done quite a lot this week. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I'm trying to do things the old way, but we have this new way of doing things now. All right, continued working on the Enchanter. I don't normally stream on Thursdays, so I only streamed in the morning. Yeah. Really need to make something cost 13531. You know what I was thinking? If there's a game after Skeleseller, we can reference Botland and Skeleseller. I have an idea for what I want the next game to be, but I'm not gonna probably get to work on that for at least a year. Okay, so we did this. Today may be the last day on this, unless we hit a snare. Merge PRs I could maybe do off stream. Yeah, I think this is really productive. And yet, what did we even work on today? Oh yeah, we did all the buff stuff. That's right. We finished the battle mod stuff. We added in the buffs. We added tooltips, and then we added the hover over. So for anyone who hasn't seen the work from today, I will show this. It mostly comes down to that hover over thing. So yeah, when you hover over this, you can now see what your enchantments are. And when you have an enchantment, it'll tell you what that is and how long it lasts. So you can see them all, and they match the colors of the crystals. Hey, Kira. Found you for a Kiboga raid, and we're really enjoying the streams. It's been really fun. Making me want to start coding for fun again. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that. Hang on one sec. Excuse me. I think anytime you watch someone doing something and they're having a reasonably fun time with it, it does encourage you to want to do it yourself. Oh, add Skeleseller. And yeah, Combobulator, I did increase the camera size a little bit. Only learned C++ in college and stuck to the console, so it's really cool to see fiddling with UI elements too. Yeah, and if you're comfortable in C++, you can use it for Unreal Engine, or you could learn a different language and code in Godot, or or Unity or anything else. I think the visual stuff does help keep you motivated. And also when you're making a game, that eventually you've got your game to the point where the game itself is fun. So when I'm finally testing for balance, it gets tedious eventually because I'm testing for balance. But when I start out and like, let's see what this looks like. Skip tutorial. Yeah, so if I don't do any of this stuff and we just say if false and skip. Yeah. So this will be like what the game is when you don't have access to debug features. And it's fun. I'm actually enjoying playing it. So I start and I pick my first adventure. I mean, I've done this a million times, so there's no intrigue here exactly. But then once I kind of get going and I'm seeing the town build up and everything, I really like that. Also, I storyboarded the intro to the game. I posted on Discord. My wife offered to draw just some like quick sketches of it. Because originally I was going to do something where I literally just said something like this. Cutscene will go here. Here's what it would have said, would have communicated. And then I just write something like, you died, you're a skeleton, you started a town. That's it. I was just going to do this because this would take like 10 seconds to do. And instead, I think my wife is going to draw those pictures and it'll be nice. I eventually will just have the cutscene in the game. So even that artwork is going to go away. But I got to talk to her about that because I have the storyboard done. In fact, I got to write that down. Write to share storyboard with wife. Yeah. Yeah, well, this brings us to the end of the stream for today. I wanted to add in some extra streams in the next week or so, and this is one such extra stream. I'm not going to be streaming this afternoon, and tomorrow should be a regular full day of streaming. Makes me want to do some game dev. Yeah. Like I said, I'm really happy to hear it. I like helping people reach some of this inspiration. Oh, you know who we can raid? We can raid Kit with our piddly amount of viewers. I think he's ending. It's not going to stop me. I'm still rating him. All right, there. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Here are the Discord links if you want to check them out. And here's the vlog that I did on Skeleseller. I would appreciate any views, even if you already know what's going on here. And yeah, that'll be it for today. So I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Have a good rest of your day.